What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Carl. I'm the Consumer Review Lad, and I just consumed WWE Day 1 2022, and I'm going to review it on this podcast. WWE Day 1 was at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. It is WWE's first premium live event of the year. That's what the announcers were calling it. They were either calling it the premium live event or the premier live event. It looks like the term pay-per-view might be gone, so no more pay-per-view terminology. It's going to be premium live event or premier live event, whichever announcer is talking about it. I heard premium and I tweeted about it, and I saw another tweet calling it premier. I'm thinking, man, am I wrong? And then right when I was going to kind of check on my tweet to see what I put, I heard McAfee call it premium, and I was like, okay, I'm right. And then later on, Corey Graves called it premiere. So I'm not sure if they're just using both terms interchangeably or if just someone's making a mistake. But it seems like pay-per-view is out and premium live event or premiere live event is in, which kind of makes sense because you don't really do pay-per-views with WWE anymore. You get it off, it was a WWE network, but now it's Peacock, and you got to subscribe to Peacock to watch these WWE premium live events. It looks like over 10,200 fans attended WWE Day 1. Of course, the evening started out with Roman Reigns dropping out of the pay-per-view due to COVID. He got diagnosed with COVID. Rumor has it he was off some of the WWE house shows this past week, so he wouldn't get COVID, so he wouldn't have to miss this event, because apparently this event was going to kick off some sort of WrestleMania storyline, but he did have to miss this event after all. And so Brock Lesnar, since I guess he was already there at the venue, they added him to the WWE Championship Fatal 4-Way match, and they made it a Fatal 5-Way match. Now, before I get into reviewing the matches, I won't talk about WWE Day 1. Apparently is a Nick Khan idea. Nick Khan thought about doing a pay-per-view on January 1st in Atlanta, because a lot of people travel to Atlanta for the new year. But I think in general, people travel to major cities for the new year. And he was talking about, rumor has it, or at least how I read the interview, or someone talking about the interview, was they're talking about maybe doing a Day 1 pay-per-view going forward on January 1st, going forward on New Year's Day, since people travel to big cities on New Year's Eve and they're going to be there the next day. Maybe doing a pay-per-view on the first of the year going forward. Of course, I don't know how that would work on Mondays or Monday Night Raw or NXT or SmackDown, or if they will do a middle of the week pay-per-view, like if they'll do one on a Tuesday or a Thursday. It's typically a holiday. Typically people aren't at work, so they could do a pay-per-view that evening and night, or if it's just going to be a weekend thing. But it sounds like, from what I heard, that Day 1 might be something going forward. They'll kick off every year January 1st with a pay-per-view, or I should say not pay-per-view, premium live event going forward. I don't know. We'll see. That will be interesting how that works out. Of course, if it's a Raw or SmackDown or NXT, they could just theme it Day 1. But we'll see how that works out going forward. Of course, the first match of the night was Cesaro and Ricochet versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. And Ridge Holland didn't last long in this match that went approximately 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Ricochet ended up doing some sort of, like, Cesaro threw him up in the air. He was doing this like flip. I don't even know what the move is called. Long story short, when he landed, his boot landed on Ridge Holland's nose, completely busted it open. He was pouring blood. He kind of tagged in Sheamus, got out of the ring, and he was gone the rest of the match. He went to the back. At first, they weren't really talking about it. Then the announcers pretty much mentioned, yeah, he has a broken nose, and yeah, he's gone this match. So Sheamus was pretty much in a handicap match against Cesaro and Ricochet, and he did end up winning the match. Sheamus hit a bro kick on Cesaro and pinned him to get the win. I gave this match 2 1/4 stars, and now we kick off the Day 1 WWE Day 1 premiere live event on Peacock with the WWE SmackDown Tag Team title, the Usos versus the New Day. I have a 17 minutes and 3 seconds off cage match for this match. This match was a pretty entertaining way to kick off the pay-per-view. And you have to wonder, when they cancel a match, especially the main event, a Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match. I mean, I'm not expecting like a 40-minute main event, but you got to figure they had maybe 15, 20. When they cancel a match like that, they have to spread that time everywhere else. So I was kind of thinking of that when watching this match at certain points. it seemed kind of long, or they're doing some slower spots. I have to think they have to be trying to add time somewhere. Each match going forward has to have so much time added to it to make up for the missed time. It kind of reminds me of back in, I think, 2016 when Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho had this, actually, excuse me, Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho had this insane asylum cage match that went on for a long, long time. Because I think around the last second or last minute, they had to add maybe 10 minutes. So they had to add some sort of time to it. And that time that added to the match really brought the match quality down because it kind of drug on. This match ended with the Usos giving Kofi Kingston a 3D and then pinning him to get the win. Kind of a surprise finisher there, using the Dudley Boys finisher to 3D. Of course, Pat McAfee called it the 1D because the Usos and Roman Reigns and the We the Ones that they We the One slogan that they say, so I guess it's called the 1D. I don't know if that's the official name, if Pat McAfee was just calling it that, but it was kind of cool to see that the old Dudley Boys finisher used to finish this match. I gave this match 3 stars. It was a good way to kick off the pay premium live event, and the crowd was really into this match as well. The crowd, for the most part, was not into a lot tonight. There was a lot of times where the crowd was just not that active, but there was a few times the crowd really woke up, and this match was one of those times. Next up, we do Drew versus Madcap Moss. This is a match that went 9 minutes and 42 seconds, according to Cage Match. This match was not that terrible. Drew did some loud chops to Madcap, and I don't know if it's loud because the crowd was so silent or if it was just really loud. Some really hard spots for Madcap in this match. Overall, it wasn't a terrible match. I ended up giving this match 2.25 stars. Drew McIntyre, of course, won via the Claymore kick. And later on in the evening, he was doing an interview, and he got attacked by Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. I believe they put a chair around his neck and then took some piece of metal or something heavy and slammed it on the chair and really hurt his neck, really much crushed his neck. So we're going to see Drew versus probably Happy Corbin coming up, maybe at the Royal Rumble. Next up, we have RK Bro versus the Street Profits, and the Migos came out with RK Bro, and they sat next to the commentators for this match. They didn't really get involved in the match too much. After the match ended, of course, the match ended. I guess let me talk about the match first. This match was actually a really good match, a very entertaining match, a lot of fun spots. Montez Ford just is I think he's a phenomenal wrestler, and you just watch this match, you think, man, if he had a singles run, if the Street Profits ever break up, which of course tag teams, WWE, they break up, but if the Street Profits break up, Montez Ford could have quite the singles run. He was doing some fun spots, like the spot where he runs over the corner and then jumps outside the ring, and then the end there where I think Riddle kind of tossed him up in the air, and Randy Orton hit the RKO and pinned him to end the match. And then after the match was over, the Migos came in to celebrate with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. And also the Street Profits came in and shook hands with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. So it was no love's lost, no hard feelings for this match. The Street Profits actually had the heel tag corner, and RK Bro had the face tag corner. But you kind of figured maybe the Migos would get involved. Maybe they'll have a wrestling match at WrestleMania. Who knows? It's kind of like Bad Bunny. He had a concert at the Royal Rumble last year, and that set up a program of him facing Miz and John Morrison with Damian Priest at WrestleMania. But beyond that, they didn't really get involved, just celebrated with Randy Orton. It came out of Randy Orton, celebrated with Randy Orton. I gave this match 3.5 stars, a very entertaining match. Next up, we have Edge versus The Miz. And this match was kind of, it felt pretty long. And yeah, about 20 minutes and 3 seconds, according to Cage Match. With an Edge match, when this match kind of started, I was like, okay, this match is probably going to go pretty long. Edge matches tend to go long. I think last year he had the longest singles match on a pay-per-view. It was a pay-per-view last year with Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. That I think went a little bit over 30 minutes, which was, I think, the longest singles match last year on a pay-per-view. And he just tends to have long matches. And with The Miz, this is probably his worst match since coming back. And it wasn't a terrible match. It wasn't an atrociously bad match, but it did seem kind of long. It was kind of dull. I don't think the crowd was that into it. There was a lot of little stuff going on with Maurice on the outside corner. She kept trying to help Miz by cheating. At a certain point, Beth Phoenix came out. She stood on the stage. Everyone knew Beth Phoenix was there. The announcers were talking about Beth Phoenix was there. She was just standing on the stage looking pissed off. Then finally, her music randomly hits and her Titantron hits, and then she marches to the ring, and Maurice kind of runs away from her, runs in the back. And then after that, the Miz, I think, kind of mouths off to Beth, turns around and gets speared by Edge. Edge wins the match. I gave this match 2.75 stars. I will say it looks like they're setting up some sort of Beth and Edge versus Maurice and Miz feud. I hope it's not for WrestleMania. I don't want to waste a WrestleMania Edge match with that mixed tag team. You know, Edge might want it. Honestly, Edge might want that WrestleMania match with Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Miz and Maurice already had that sort of match with John Cena and one of the Bella twins. I think it was Nikki Bella. It could be something they do for the Royal Rumble. It could be they do that for the Royal Rumble, and then Edge moves on to Miz. You know, if I had to pick an opponent for Edge to face at this WrestleMania, you'd want to pick someone like Finn Balor or AJ Styles. But I could see a Beth and Edge versus Miz and Maurice, especially because Miz and Maurice have that TV show, and a lot of people that might not watch WWE all the time will tune in for WrestleMania, see Miz and Maurice, may want to watch the TV show. Who knows? I could see that match being planned for WrestleMania. And next up, we only have 2 matches left on this card, of course, because the main event got canceled. We have Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the WWE Raw Women's title match. This match went approximately 16 minutes and 57 seconds. This match was a pretty decent match. It was a lot of, Becky was working the heel. Liv Morgan screamed a lot in this match. She was screaming quite a bit. They wrestled in the ring. They did some spots outside the ring. I think the ending might have been botched. Liv Morgan was doing the move on a rope, and Becky Lynch reversed it into the man slam, and then during the pin for the man slam, which is her finisher move, which would finish the opponent, it looked like she was trying to put her feet on the ropes, but her feet were too far from the ropes, so it didn't work, and she just still won cleanly. I'm not sure if that was like some story perspective to say that she didn't need to do that and win, or she was just trying to cheat the win again, and it just kind of failed. Really not sure what happened there. Overall, this was, like I said, a pretty overall enjoyable match. I gave it 3.25 star, 3.25 stars. And it was an enjoyable Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan match. I don't know where they go from here. Liv Morgan, she's over with the fans. She's very popular with the fans, but I did not think they were going to give her the title tonight. I think Becky Lynch, I'm not sure what her WrestleMania plans are. It could be that Liv Morgan goes on this storyline redemption thing where she wins the Royal Rumble and kind of proves herself, then gets the title at WrestleMania. A lot of people, I think a lot of fans maybe say that could be a Liv Morgan storyline. I'm not sure. Maybe Becky Lynch faces someone else at WrestleMania. She's one of the bigger stars in the WWE, so you would imagine they could bring another big female athlete to face her at WrestleMania. Maybe, I'm not sure if Ronda Rousey's able to come back yet, or if she will come back, but Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey singles match was something that I think a lot of the fans want and never happened, and that could be a possibility at WrestleMania, just depending if Ronda Rousey's able to return to the ring, or if she wants to return to the ring. If not, I could see maybe Liv Morgan getting the title from her, or who's going to get the title from Becky Lynch. She's been champion, undefeated with that championship title for quite a while, so we'll see where they go from here with that on the road to WrestleMania. Of course, our first stop is at the Royal Rumble at the end of the month. And now we go to the main event of the evening, the Fatal 5-Way match. And this match was absolutely amazing. It was awesome. It, according to Cage Match, went 8 minutes and 20 seconds, which is it was pretty short. I was looking at the clock. When the Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan match ended. I'm thinking, okay, they got quite the time that they can finish this out and end by 11 p.m. Eastern. But it didn't. Actually ended closer to like 10:50 Eastern time. It went only 8 minutes and 20 seconds for this main event, but that 8 minutes and 20 seconds was very fast paced and very, very entertaining. We finally got to see Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley kind of square off in the squared circle. I know Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, that's been a match a lot of people want to see in the square circle, and we kind of got to see some of it today. We saw Bobby Lashley spear Brock Lesnar through a barricade, and we got to see them kind of fight in the ring a little bit. The match ended with Brock Lesnar giving Big E an F5 and pinning him to win the match, and Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship, which I think shocked the fans because Brock Lesnar is kind of in a program with Roman Reigns for the Universal title. He doesn't really need the WWE Championship, and who's going to end up winning the title before he got added to the match? I predicted Kevin Owens was going to win just because he recently re-signed with the WWE, and he was one of the bigger possible free agents that could have went over to AEW. At certain points earlier, or at certain points last year, I guess in the fall, he was kind of maybe teasing it, but he actually re-signed with the WWE. So I figured maybe they would reward him with giving him a WWE title run leading up to WrestleMania. So I kind of predicted Kevin Owens would win. Of course, it did not happen. Brock Lesnar ended up winning, so I don't know who was going to end up winning that match had he not been added to it. I mean, I'm not sure where Brock Lesnar is going from here. It almost seems like we could see a Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley feud going forward. Possibly Brock Lesnar versus Big E at the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. If he just doesn't go with Roman Reigns and they drop that storyline completely, I'm not too sure. Maybe they're rewriting the whole storyline to WrestleMania. I have no idea. Overall, though, that was a very entertaining match. I gave that match 4 1/4 stars, so 4.25 stars for the main event. That was the match of the night. Worst match of the night goes to Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss. Match of the night is that WWE Fatal 5-Way match. Overall, day one, the premium live event for WWE on January 1st. I was entertained. It was a very entertaining night of wrestling. It's going to be interesting to see the road to WrestleMania going forward now that Brock Lesnar is a WWE champion. You have to imagine he'll probably be on Raw Monday night. Will he go to Friday Night SmackDown to confront Roman Reigns still? Are they done with that? Who knows? Right now we have the road. Well, it's really the road to WrestleMania at this point, but before that, we have to stop at the Royal Rumble, one of the major pay-per-views. So that's going to be the first stop. We're going to see what's going to happen until the Royal Rumble. And then from there, we go on to the road to WrestleMania. But rumor has it was going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in like a series of matches, which didn't really seem that interesting. So if they rewrite that to do maybe Brock Lesnar versus Big E, that could be a fun match. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley would be a very entertaining match and really a very entertaining WrestleMania caliber match. But then the question is, what do you do if Roman Reigns in the meantime? Who is he going to feud with? Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to watch Raw. We'll have to watch SmackDown to find out. Anyways, I'd like to know what you guys think of this WWE Day 1 Premium Live event. Please tweet me at consume_review, or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoy the podcast, please go ahead and click like. If you did enjoy, please click subscribe. You might enjoy a future one. Anyways, my name is Carl. I'm the Consume and Review Live, and this has been the Consume and Review podcast for WWE Day 1. Peace out.